Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Zenless Zone 0 video. Now, let's talk about how to build Yanagi, because I'm sure you guys are curious in terms of substats and a bunch of other things. So hopefully in this video we can try to debunk what is going to be her best, ideally for in a lot of cases, right? So first things first, do you need Miyabi's W engine? Do you need her weapon? Because I'm sure you guys are aware, if you were to pull, you are coming into this and you're like, okay, I want to pull for Miyabi, sure, alright. Now the next best thing that after you get her, one copy, is to get W engine, alright. You actually don't need dupes as much. Her M2, her second copy, is going to be very important. I'm going to talk about that shortly, but ideally, W engine should be your priority. So let's talk a little bit more about Miyabi. Why her W engine specifically? Her W engine is going to give her crit rate, alright? And she is going to need a lot of crit rate just because of how her kit is. Alright, she has this particular skill right here. Very important, the most important thing of her, she's an anomaly frost character by the way. She's not an ice, she's a frost. So she will have a little bit of a different style. Very unique, alright? She needs crit rate and crit damage compared to a lot of other anomaly characters. Now, ideally right here, in this particular skill, this is going to be where you will see what she actually needs, right? So she deals frost damage, applies ice fire to the enemy, alright? So increase frost anomaly build up on enemies with ice fire by 100% of Hoshimi Miyabi's crit rate up to a maximum of 80%. Now this is going to be a frost anomaly build up, and very important. Most anomaly characters, you want to build the anomaly proficiency or anomaly mastery to be able to stack the anomaly build up on the character itself, right? But for Miyabi, by getting more crit rate, you're also getting more anomaly build up. So indirectly, getting crit rate is going to be like an insane build. Why would you not do that, right? So 80% crit rate is ideally what you want on her. Now, that's going to be pretty much it, right? The rest of this is pretty straightforward. This is where the problem lies. 80% is not as easy as a lot of players make it seem to be. At least for me, you gotta like have a little bit of good substats on your equipment. So ideally, you want to prioritize on crit rate as a whole, alright? So if you are looking to build her, definitely go for crit rate. Now, as you can see, I have currently 4 pieces of this particular one, the Branch and Blade Song. This is going to be her best build. And then we got 2 piece Woodpecker Electro. Now, Woodpecker Electro 2 piece is going to give you the crit rate 8%. Now, obviously, that's going to be what it is. If you guys are not aware, there's also this special training plan. You can see right now the recommendation is pretty much spot on point, right? You want to get all of this in terms of skill priority. But yeah, it's going to be very important. This is going to be what they recommend. So what about the main stat of those particular one, right? So we all know that this particular slot, the slot 1, the main stat is fixed at HP, slot 2 is fixed at flare attack, slot 3 is fixed at defense. But what about slot 4, 5, 6? Slot 4, you either want to go with crit rate percent or crit damage percent, depending on which one is going to help you reach the 80% crit rate. That is going to be your priority. Alright, so if you cannot get 80% crit rate, then you want to go for the crit rate main stat. But if not, if you can easily get that, then you can go for crit damage substat for more damage, right? There are crit damage substat for slot 4. Now for slot 5, the best one is going to be ice damage bonus by far. Alright, attack percent and everything else is good, but ice damage is going to be the best because she is going to do a lot of ice damage while she can proc anomaly, but outside of that, she's probably consistently going to be doing ice damage as well. So as you can see, my one, I have a crit damage right here alongside with anomaly proficiency, but the rest of these are not that good. Alright, now the last one, slot 6. This one is going to be the most debatable one. Alright, you'll see a lot of players talking about which one is going to be better, either attack percent or anomaly mastery. Now let's talk about anomaly mastery. Anomaly mastery is how fast you can build the anomaly on her. Ideally, it is decent for most anomaly characters, but Miyabi is really an exception. Alright, attack percent is going to be much more important on her scaling, because she has an ability right here. Again, we're going to jump into combat to show you guys, but she has one ability right here, all the way. If you apply frostbite to the enemy with ice fire, alright, it will consume this, dealing frost damage equal to 1500% of Hoshimi Miyabi's attack. So this is a lot of scaling of her attack. So ideally, attack percent is going to be one of the better substats you want to get, alright, in terms of her, her priority of getting all of this. She doesn't need anomaly proficiency as well, at all, right? As far as I see, that is going to be not, I wouldn't say it's a useless stat, but I feel like it's the least priority because of how all the scaling works. By giving her crit rate, she literally get frost anomaly build up. And right here you can see all squad members is going to accumulate 20% more anomaly build up against enemies under the frost burn state. So she is going to consistently be able to help the team as a whole as well. So that is going to be pretty much the main stat as a whole. What about substats, right? So again, I want to establish this is going to be the thing to go for her. Alright, so slot 6 attack percent, ice damage percent on slot 5, crit rate or crit damage percent, depending on which one is going to be help you reach 80% crit rate. So here is the thing, right? If you go with 4 pieces of this particular one, notice this particular one, or the 4 pieces of this, when anomaly mastery exceeds or equals to 115 points, conveniently, Miyabi has 116 points without any anomaly mastery bonus. So I feel like this set is specifically made for her, right? Literally, it's just made for her. Alright, she is going to get crit damage increased by 30%, and when any squad member applies freeze or triggers the shatter effect on an enemy, the equiper's crit rate increased by 12%, lasting 15 seconds. Now she is going to get another 12% on top of this. Very, very good. But ideally, 12% here, and then Woodpecker Electro another 8% here, 20% here, right? For crit rate. So ideally, without those two, you want to be able to get about... Also, she has 5% base crit rate, right? So that's like 25%. So you still need to get about 50%, 55%, right? It's not easy to get crit rate if you don't go for her weapon. This is where her weapon comes in, right? Now, her weapon is one of the few anomaly W engine that can give you crit rate percent on the main stat. Alright, every other anomaly characters give you anomaly proficiency, and attack percent for Weeping Gemini. Now, anomaly proficiency is not that useful for her comparatively, compared to crit rate percent and crit damage percent, ideally. So this one is like, I would say like the least priority, right? So I would say Roaring Right is also going to be decent. This one is going to be attack percent. So if you are going for a 4-star W engine, right? Electro Lip Gloss is probably going to be the best one because of this particular perk right here. Attack increase by 10%, and of course 15% more damage increase. But ideally, if you can get her weapon, it's going to make building her much easier. So what you can also do, and what other players I've seen them do, is consider equipping her with a W engine that is not anomaly based. Alright, for example, you can go and equip any of the one that have crit rate, right? For example, I don't think I have any outside of Cannon Rotor, which is a battle pass weapon. You can basically put this, equip on her. You're not gonna get this effect right here, but you're still gonna get this stat, the advanced stat. I'm not sure if that's going to be worth it. Is that fully worth it? Maybe to a certain extent, but I'm thinking like right now, I can't find a 4-star weapon, literally, with crit rate percent. It is so rare. Am I crazy? There's no such thing? It don't exist? Penetration ratio, this one is attack percent, HP percent, defense. I guess there's no such thing, yeah, unless you have like Zuyan's W engine or something that have crit rate, you can probably do that. Again, not the most optimal, but ideally you want to get her to the 80% crit rate. Alright, that is going to be the priority as when you build her. Now, substats priority. What is going to be the important one? This is going to be the one that you want to pay attention to. Talking about the rest of this. So I've been trying to figure this out. I've been trying to configure things accordingly. I've been farming all day. Now the substats for her, the best one is going to be, like I mentioned, crit rate percent. Okay. This is going to be number 1, alright? So crit rate. Now, obviously up until 80%. Like I mentioned, you don't need to go above, right? Don't need to go 100% or anything crazy. Now, what is the second best? This is going to be the important part. I am going to pretty much say that attack percent, alright? Attack percent and crit damage percent. This is going to be a good second priority. Now, which one is going to be better? Obviously, it's going to depend on how you build your team. I can see the logic that a lot of players are saying that if you have her in a team with Sokaku or even with Caesar, that means she probably already gets lots of attack percent, which is fair, alright? So therefore, crit damage percent is going to be much more valuable in most cases. But then you can also argue that, you know, what if in the future we have characters that can boost crit damage, right? And I feel like these two are going to be very, very important. The third one, I'm going to say penetration ratio. I mean just penetration or anomaly. But ideally, or actually flat attack might actually be the third one, right? Now that I think of it. But these two are going to be the more important one. So ideally, crit rate percent, crit damage percent, attack percent, these are going to be the one that you want to go with if it's possible. Because it's going to be something that is important to aim towards. As you can see, my crit damage is at a measly 104%. Ugh. But attack is also going to be very, very important, alright? So hopefully you guys are able to try to get that. I'm still working on my, you know, on my disk drives generally. But building her shouldn't be too difficult. So let's jump into combat quickly and just show you guys in terms of how to play her. Obviously, I'm not gonna go through like the perfect rotation and everything, but just to give you guys a very, very rough newbies guy, right? Like, we're just gonna jump into the free training. Very, very quick one. Okay, so we're gonna find an enemy. What is the default enemy? Oh, this one. So let me try and I'm gonna get a stronger enemy. This enemy sucks. Guardian Mark II, so we're gonna get that. We're gonna get like a high level one, so it's much easier for me to show you guys, right? Okay. So hopefully we get a... Oh, let me get the enemy that's not moving, disable that, so it's much easier. Okay, so how do you use Miyabi is actually very simple and very straightforward. So all you want to do is, notice this Frostfire right here. Her basic attack is going to be one of the strongest damage output, alright? Her basic attack hold alongside with the ultimate skill. So those two are going to be the priority. So this particular thing, this ball right here, this bar, how do you stack this? Very easy. So when you build anomaly on her, using this Frostfire thing, whatever this thing, once you build this thing to full, let's get that thing to full, right? Okay, this boss is pretty tanky. So just use normal attack. Okay, notice once this bar is full, we're gonna apply our anomaly called Frostburn. So when we get Frostburn, we get 1 bar. One more is on our special skill, the E skill. Alright, E is going to give us 2 points. So once we got 6 points right there, if we press hold on our regular attack, this is going to give us the maximum amount of damage. Alright, as you can see. So ideally, when using Miyabi, it's pretty straightforward. Alright, you just gotta stack as much of the orbs as you can. Alright, get them to 6. Now you can probably like get this to 3, but at 3, if you hold, it doesn't do as much damage, right? You can see it's only like 35,000. Right, the one that's the maximum amount of damage is when you basically use the last one. How do I show the... Okay, right here. So you can see... Do they show the numbers? Okay, they do show the numbers, alright. You guys can see, right? Mine is level 9 right now. So you can see basic attack Shimotsuki. So you can see the charge level 1 is only 785%, level 2 is 1004, but level 3, this is going to give you 3600%. So ideally you want to get it level 3, meaning like maximum, right? So this is level 1. Okay, let me build level 1. I think level 1 and level 2, not much difference. Okay. Yeah, that's level 1 for you, alright. So again, the damage is probably not going to be that high. So I can do 3 times of this. This is the max level, right? So this one is the one that's gonna do the most damage. Alright, so that's pretty much the basic. Alright, so obviously you can combo this with a bunch of things. For example, like while she is doing the E, right? You can like quick swap and do something else and swap to Yanagi. Oh, Yanagi's disorder will also help her. So you can see right now. Let me see if I can go back. So you can see there's 2, right? Disorder by Yanagi.
Time to shine.
Wait, I need to get that disorder. My bad. Let me try and stack that. Ooh, the enemy died. So I'm gonna try to stack a little bit first.
Waste of time.
Okay. So you can see this order is gonna give her points. How many points did that get? Let me see. Let me try again.
Resistance is futile.
This order, okay.
Let me at him.
So she get 2 points from that. So that's why Yanagi and Miyabi is a very good combo. Because that disorder proc from Yanagi will be able to give her more points, and then she can do this. Right? Again, while that is happening, you can also quick swap. Quick swap is very important, right? So you can now quick swap for Zenless Zone 0. Right? It's like there's almost no cooldown. And her ultimate is also going to be very strong as well. So yeah, that's pretty much I guess a simple basic beginner's guide to Miyabi, alright, as a whole. Now the teams, obviously, Yanagi is going to be very strong. If you don't have Caesar, you can use Sokaku, you can use Lucy, you can also use Bernice if you want to, right? She's a main DPS that can pretty much fit into any team. So you just put her with one more support. If you want to, you can use Nicole as well, right? For new player, she doesn't need stunner. You don't need a stun. So I recommend you pairing her with either a support or Nicole works well as well, right? If you want to, you can go with Nicole plus Sokaku. That's probably the cheapest one. Actually, the banner right now, for her banner, is actually really good for just that simple team, right? So you got Miyabi, Piper, and Sokaku. So if you get everyone in that character, that could be one team on its own. So it's just a perfect team for you to, for any new players out there, to be able to do that, build a team surrounding her. Right now it's going to be, I forgot, is that the banner? I'm trying to let me double check, right? Double check. Head to signal search. Yeah, so you can see Sokaku and Piper. That's like pretty much one team. So yeah, hopefully you guys are able to build your Miyabi. Yeah, try to get the crit rate. That's going to be, you guys have to constantly farm the this drive. That's going to be something that you want to do, right? Alright, make sure you guys log in and claim as well, all the remaining stuff. There's plenty of things. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.